Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. I'm going to do a little bit of theorizing today, and maybe China will get into the metaverse thing and it will bring them into cryptos. Even though this is Baidu's metaverse app, and they specifically said they will not support digital currencies or NFTs. But if you don't support those, how are you going to get people to actually play the metaverse? Unless the government forces you to be in the metaverse and it forces you to use their CBDC in the metaverse. So there could be more sinister aspirations. They want to get kids hooked on this metaverse, get them addicted, so they will always be enslaved to their CBDC, which is going to attract, a lot of younger kids and maybe like the entire country as well. Because people can actually play this metaverse, and maybe if the government's behind this Baidu thing, they'll exempt that 1 hour a week thing from kids, so everyone's going to be addicted to their metaverse and be addicted to their CBDC. That is the more sinister interpretation. The other thing is even though China's banned cryptocurrency today, they might not be banned in 6 years or 5 years, because let's actually go back and look at this. This thing is not going to be launched for another 5 years. The project was originally slated to be launched in 6 years, but they started in 2020, so it would make sense that they would launch it in 2026, which is around 5 years away. 4 years after this year gets around, but I'm going to guess it's at the end of 2026, heading into 2027, so still about 5 years. This is from Cointelegraph. Obviously, they don't do all the theorizing I do, but that's, I think, two kind of things you can think about. China's going to use this metaverse to basically pound their digital dollar home and get everyone to use it and be addicted to it, or they're going to use this metaverse to kind of slowly wedge in digital currencies and NFTs, because 5 years is a very, very long time, and things can definitely change in 5 years. I think in 5 years, digital currencies like crypto will be much more prevalent in China and elsewhere, and I don't know if China can I don't really know if China can really avoid it. Maybe the Chinese government sees this as well. They can't just cut themselves economically from the rest of the world and not take part in this new economy. That would be quite devastating to their own aspirations for world domination. If everyone else in the world is playing with cryptocurrency and their citizens aren't, they would actually lose a lot of money and prominence like that. So maybe as this metaverse comes live, they're going to lighten up the cryptocurrency they're going to lighten up or loosen up the cryptocurrency regulations and start allowing exchanges and cryptos within the next 5 years. And then as this comes in, they'll just slide it in along with this metaverse. I don't know of any other metaverses that are actually being built in China, because realistically, if you're building a metaverse, it's going to be hard to get anyone to actually take part in it without the digital currencies or NFTs, especially when every other metaverse is going to have digital currencies and NFTs. I mean, if you really think about it, a metaverse where essentially the creator, Baidu, is basically the gods of the metaverse, that could be used as a very big controlling or manipulative tool. Because Baidu, all Chinese companies, even though they're private and the profits are fairly pretty much private, they do have to toe the government line. So you can bet that the Communist Party does have its hands in this metaverse, and they will use this metaverse to re-educate some of maybe people in Xinjiang or the outer provinces, or they'll actually use this metaverse to really get the people much more under their control. Because essentially, Baidu is the god of this metaverse, and since the Chinese government kind of has policy to control what Baidu can and can't do, and they can actually make them a propaganda machine for the party itself, you can see this metaverse being that as well. I mean, we know that kids love the metaverse, right? And, I don't think Uyghur kids are going to be that much different in liking the metaverse and the new level of digital electronics. So imagine, say in those camps or whatever, the Chinese government is really pushing this metaverse. They can actually indoctrinate those kids with Chinese, Han culture and Han principles, where you don't have to kill everyone in the camps like the Nazis did. You just re-educate the next generation, because in about 30, 40 years, The current generation, the older current generation, is probably mostly going to be gone, not due to you killing them, but due to old age. And then you have the new kids whom you've indoctrinated with the help of this metaverse to essentially kill their culture that came before. Because remember, they're in these camps where where they're kind of like separated, and they're much encouraged or forced to adopt, Han culture. And Han culture is the only way they can get out of these camps. That's the only way they can actually get out of these camps and get ahead in society. And now you have, kids playing in this metaverse that's perhaps highly influenced by the Chinese government. They could definitely use it as a tool to really influence the next generation and kind of like encourage them to ditch their culture and integrate into Han society. I think that definitely can be a tool that the Chinese government can actually use, especially with the minority population that they deem troublesome. But I also do think that it is a great way to get people to actually adopt the CBDC. If the CBDC becomes the official currency of the metaverse, a lot of kids are going to be using it, and these kids are the future, so they're going to be used to it. So I think that metaverse is definitely going to be used to get more control of Chinese citizens, but I also think there is a possibility that they're going to use the metaverse to slowly ease in crypto into the economy as well. Because I think the guys in charge have to know that there is a possibility that crypto does become a very dominant economic system in the future, and they don't really want to be left out of it. So I think there's aspirations for future crypto integration and future crypto being allowed in China on exchanges and in metaverses, but there's also a very, very sinister and dark part of this metaverse. So let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.